Alright guys, welcome back to more Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky. And let's continue. Still, Sasayama murmured under his breath. As great a detective as Tatino is, it's not like anyone else in the world has ever heard of him. I suppose not, Kano said. So? Only time anyone ever hears a cop's name is if he's caught up in some scandal or killed in the line of duty. I mean, doesn't really seem fair, does it? Kano just shrugged. It was a strange definition of unfair, really. I mean, you've got celebrity chefs and celebrity hairdressers and stuff. So how come no celebrity gumshoes, Look, please. Can you just focus on what we're doing here? Kano rubbed his eyes, then turned his attention back to Hitomi. What's the matter? Didn't sleep? Not enough, I guess. Did you eat? Didn't have the time. Between bringing in supplies for the base of operations. Base of operations is usually set up in a large room at the precinct, such as an auditorium. MPD and precinct investigators assemble there, and communications equipment, investigation resources, and such are brought in. Because of the scale and scope of these activities, newspaper reporters can be liable to notice, and so in cases such as kidnapping, where a victim's personal safety is at stake, the flow of information is tightly controlled. Raiding the team's vehicles, photocopying hundreds of documents, and varying other tasks. Kano had barely slept the previous night and hadn't gotten a meal in either. What have you been doing? Sasayama puffed out his chest. Saving up my energy for the day. So you were sleeping? Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. A man in his 20s wearing a sleeveless red jacket. He's carrying a garbage bag. A young man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He strode toward her, a sinister look on his face. He didn't match Hitomi's description, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper had hired some young street punk to snatch the ransom payment. Maybe. That our guy? What do you think, Kano? Sasayama whispered. Yeah, I think he's gotta be. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready to act fast. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Could this be the culprit? Or perhaps... The young man tried to snatch the briefcase from Hitomi, but she clung to it with desperate strength. That's the garbage man. That's not no culprit. He thinks it's trash, that's why. It was him. The detectives rushed in. Whoa, hey, what the heck? The young man cried out frantically and tried to dart away, but the officers closed in, forcing him bodily to the ground. Target secured. Oh geez, I think we've got another suspect on the scene. He's taking the ransom. Kuze's hysterics made Kano spin around. Sure enough, a foreign-looking man was sprinting away, attaché case in hand. The mob of detectives scrambled to pursue. Before Kano could react, most of them had run off, leaving him to look after the original suspect. What should I do with this guy, sir? Might have some connection with the kidnapper. Should I bring him in? Huh? Oh, sure. That'd be swell. I'm on it. With the help of one of the remaining detectives, Kano brought the suspect back to the Shibuya precinct. Look, how many times do we have to go through this? Cut the crap. In the interrogation room, the young man who gave his name as Achi steadfastly insisted on his innocence. Why'd you try to steal that case? Kano watched Aichi's face intently. Like I said, it looked heavy, so I was just trying to help her out. It wasn't inconceivable that a young guy would want to help a pretty girl. But Hitomi had just been standing there hardly in desperate need of assistance. She hadn't set the case down. So I figured there had to be something important inside. An entry form, Kano's Dick diary shot through his mind. Dick dictum number 25. When the tongue slips, grab it and yank out the truth. Classic advice for questioning. Something importantly, you say, such as, how the heck would I know? Achi spat. He huffed and slumped back in his chair. This standard textbook back and forth had been going on for nearly an hour. Kano didn't mind. Chasing down criminals was all well and good, but questioning suspects was another key part of the job. Plenty of off-the-scene work went into cracking a case. Once again, he had Aichi explain what he'd been doing, starting from the beginning. When Kano finally emerged from the interrogation room for a short break, he learned that there had been some progress on the case at the crime scene. What the police hadn't been able to determine yet, however, was whether or not Maria was safe. Fighting back his anxiety, Kano consulted his Dick diary. Dick dictum number 54. Haste makes waste. Felt his tension subside, remembering the right maxim always helped. It was like casting a magic spell. Kano returned to confront Aichi once more. You were there to act as a distraction to mess up the investigation, weren't you? Huh? Aichi looked a bit dumbfounded. What are you on about? Dick dictum number 55. The truth hungers to be free. You hungry? Got some katsudon, if you like. Japanese dish consisting of a bowl of white rice topped with breaded pork cut like an egg. There are several variations such as sauce, katsudon where the egg is replaced with Worcestershire sauce. That's a good sauce. Worcestershire? Worcestershire, I don't know how you pronounce it. And mitsu katsudon, where the pork is stewed in miso. Not typically the sort of thing a policeman offers a suspect during an interrogation. This could be seen as baiting with food and is to be avoided. Aichi nodded silently. Aichi devoured the bowl of katsudon with gutso. He looked like he hadn't eaten in a while. Alright, then spill it. What's this guy after? Aichi just shrugged. I don't know, he murmured, a thick slice of egg-laden pork between his teeth. How many accomplices do you have? Kano asked. But Aichi just shook his head as he inhaled his food. Resignedly, Kano flipped through his notebook once more. Let's see, number 115. Use the lights to your advantage. What? As the minutes ticked past, he found himself referring to his book again and again, trying a dozen different methods to tease out whatever his suspect might be hiding. The experience began to feel strangely surreal, their two voices echoing hollowly in the interrogation room. Eventually, Kano looked at the clock and realized that the questioning had been going on for nearly 5 hours. He still hadn't made any headway. What was he supposed to do next? Tatina would know, but he sure didn't. Still, he was determined to do whatever he could to keep the victim and her family safe. Gritting his teeth in frustration, he pursued the diary like it was a scripture. Number 116. The monotonous questioning was clearly tiring Achi out. His eyelids drooped like they were beginning to get heavy. Number 117. Get them when they're tired. Kano's eyes gleamed. You're part of some criminal gang, huh? He fell asleep right there. Achi's head slumped forward heavily. Nodding off was basically the same as nodding yes, right? Mr. Kuze, I did it. The young guy we grabbed at the handoff site. He finally confessed to the crime. What? What are you talking about? Kuze laughed in disbelief. We're just about to apprehend the mastermind here. Huh? Kano clutched his cell phone, dumbstruck. Listen, why don't you, look, just wait there, HQ, okay? No, it can't be. After the kidnapping case wrapped up, Kano tendered his resignation. Guess I'm not cut out to be a detective after all, he thought to himself. He dropped the diary on his desk as he left Shibuya Precinct for the last time. Bad ending. Kano wound up at a bad end. However, this does not mean that the choice you made for Kano was the wrong one. One of the other protagonists, Achi Endo, has an impact on Kano's fate here. You can avoid a bad ending by making proper decisions on another character's story. For a detailed hint, wow. Okay. Kano had every reason to suspect Aichi Endo, but arresting him turned out to be a mistake. If Aichi hadn't approached Hitomi, this wouldn't have happened. Wow, try playing Aichi's story up to 10:30 and make a choice that keeps him from going up to her. If you do that, Kano won't even have a chance to arrest him, and things should play out differently. Bad ending. Announcing Aichi Endo, one of the other protagonists. Let's follow Aichi's story for a little while. Aichi Endo called out at the door to his father's room. Okay, I'm heading out. Sure. His father sounded unconcerned and didn't even open the door. Sure you don't want me to stay here in the shop? It's not like we're gonna get any customers. Aichi grimaced. Yeah, I guess not. The drawer by the front door held a stack of heavy-duty trash bags. As you pulled a few of them out. Guess it's gonna be that kind of day. Stuffed the trash bags to his pocket and slipped on his favorite pair of sneakers. The entryway to Aichi's home also led into the family shop. Various pieces of electronics were piled up like so much junk in the tiny retail space. The slightest bump brought the risk of an avalanche. Aichi wove his way through the gaps in the appliances like a spelunker exploring a cave. The Shibuya Station, you make your way past the 109 building, then up through Dogonzaka, you'll come across an old shopping district. Nestled in its outskirts is Indo Electronics, in the same place it's been for decades. Within its dimly lit interior, you'll find rows of wares all caked in dust. At a glance, you might as well assume the place was closed. A mom and pop place like Indo's couldn't compete with the big consumer chains booming throughout Shibuya. So far, the store had remained in business thanks to the locals who appreciated that they made house calls to do repairs. But things weren't looking too good for the future. Achi, the eldest son and nominal successor to the business, had no interest whatsoever in working there. Achi stepped out of the shop and into the sunny morning air. The good weather lifted his spirits. Alrighty, time to do this. He unfurled one of the big garbage bags, which caught the wind and fluttered like a cape. Then he slowly made his way toward Shibuya Station, scanning his surroundings all the while. Sheesh, this place is filthy. He paused to pick up a plastic bottle that had been tossed on the ground. Then, with a heavy sigh, he slipped the crushed receptacle in his trash bag. Yeah, see, I knew it. He'd been picking up trash around town like this for about 6 months now. It had gotten so that the sort of garbage most people would hardly notice stood out to him like a sore thumb. Those days he'd fill his trash bag to the top by the time he made it from his house in Dogonzaga to the train station. Today he was halfway to the station when a woman's anxious voice caught his attention. "I'm sorry. I'm in a bit of a hurry here." He looked up and saw a timid-looking woman being confronted by 2 men, one with brown hair, one with black. From the look of them, he guessed that the men were scouts from some hostess club. He ran to this sort of thing pretty frequently on his trash cleaning walks around town. Another kind of trash to take care of. Achi quickly interposed himself between the girl and the 2 recruiters. "Hey, can't you see that you're bothering her?" "Huh? Who the heck are you?" The 2 men glared. "Take a hike, pal." Achi stood his ground. "Look, she ain't interested. You just have to find some other mark." The hustler's annoyance turned to open rage. Well, well, well. Listen to you. Got a bit of mouth, huh, buddy?" The brown-haired thug smacked his lips around his chewing gum like a dog wearing a bone. "How about we take this someplace more quiet, yeah?" What this means can depend on the person speaking. To a young woman, let's go someplace more quiet might suggest a cafe or a park. But to a street punk, it might mean an alley where passerby are unlikely to interrupt. The girl stood by uneasily watching the thing, like watching the goings on. "Hey, take it easy. I'm not looking for trouble." Is that supposed to be an apology? "On your knees and beg, pal." The man spat his gum onto the ground. Achi looked down at the glistening wad of gum on the sidewalk. His last shred of goodwill vanished. "You better pick that up right now." "What? Didn't you hear me? 'Cause I told you to get down on your knees and back." Achi's hand shot out, grabbing the man by the jaw. "Whoa, whoa, easy, pal." The other man's bravado drained from his face. Achi tightened his grip on the brown-haired hustler's jaw. Sweat dripped from the man's reddening brow. Ugh, ugh. The man struggled, but Aichi just tightened his grip. Gum's a real pain in the butt to clean up. After it's gotten stuck to the street, you know. Ever stop to consider that? Wait, are you? The other hustler's panicked eyes and fixed on Aichi's chest. Gah! Oh crap! That shirt, man! The guy's voice was starting to break. That's mean clean. A guy with a mean clean shirt carrying around a trash bag? That means you're... His face went pale. Mean clean? The other man echoed the words through his held shut jaw, tears welling up in his eyes. Get it right, pal. Aichi's clenched the man's jaw harder still. It's mean clean. Ow, 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 ow. We're sorry, man. You're Aichi, right? Dude, we honestly had no idea. Come on, man. You gotta cut us some slack. The man scrambled to snatch the wad of gum off the street, stuffing it into his pants pocket. Finally, Aichi let go of his companion. The brown-haired hustler's face was twisted up with fear, tears streaming down his cheeks. Gasping out hastily apologies to the two thugs scampered off. Hey, so, a shiny smile came to the girl's face. Ryoko Kakunuma, a second-year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. These hustlers managed to corner her while she was on her way to her part-time job at a cafe. It's a popular plot in trashy e-novels for the main character to fall in love with a hustler like these guys, but such things rarely happen in real life. Ain't that the truth? Thank you for saving me. No, I apologize. Huh? The girl stared in surprise. You're running to creeps like that now and then, but don't hold it against us. Shibuya's a good town. Yeah, okay. Achi gave her a quick wave, then turned and continued on his way down Dogenzaki. Achi was Shibuya born and raised. He was neatly aware of all the changes Ward had seen since he was a kid. Grocery stalls and inconspicuous little side streets, tiny parks nestled between buildings. Aichi knew it all like the back of his hand. Trash, human or otherwise, had no place in this town, not on his watch. Aichi made his way down toward Shibuya Station. Throngs of people shuffled to and fro across the scramble. The view shifted consistently from one moment to the next, almost as if the city itself were alive. And if the city was a living thing, then Shibuya Station was its heart. With streets like Bunkamura-dori and Senagai serving as the arteries pumping the bloodstream made of people. Today as ever, the heart was pumping that blood to every nook and cranny of Shibuya. And there was Aichi, just another part of this great urban organism. Guess I'm one of the city's white blood cells. Oh wait, maybe I'm a red blood cell. Hold on, is that right? Or did I have it right the first time? White blood cells eliminate pathogens from the bloodstream. Red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. Aichi was probably thinking of white blood cells. Emerging from his reverie, he noticed a rather conspicuous young woman standing by the statue of Hachiko outside Shibuya Station. Here we go. Oh, she's totally my type. To be up someone's alley, to be someone's cup of tea. Wonder if she's a model or a small-time actress or something. She looked like she's waiting for someone. Probably another guy. Dang. Good looking as she was, there was no way she wasn't already taken. What kind of guy scored a girl like that? Probably the rich CEO of an IT company or something. Crouching down to tie off the trash bag, continued gazing wistfully at the girl, and he noticed something peculiar. She was carrying a briefcase, the kind a businessman might use. It was a large case and apparently so heavy that she was struggling to hold it despite using both hands. Hey, now what kind of person makes a young lady lug around something heavy like that? She figured he'd offer to carry it for her. But first, I gotta dump this trash. Looked around to see if there was a garbage bin. Okay, you've reached a decision point. Let's have Aichi not approach Hitomi. Option then press X. This is why we got the bad ending. So you could choose, another character could make you get the bad ending by making the wrong decision. You impact somebody else's story. Okay, we'll dump the trash then. But first, I gotta dump the trash. Cause see, in the other one, he was still carrying the trash when he went up to her. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Now, Achi won't approach Hitomi, which means he will avoid being arrested by Kano. At the same time, Kano's fate will also change. So that means his story will continue, and he will no longer wind up at bad ending. So let's switch back to Kano's story using the time chart. Oh, wow. This is the time chart. It shows protagonist progression throughout the story. Decision points are marked with a fork in the road. Kano's fate is changed based on Aichi's actions. Select Kano's 1030 block and then press X. A suspicious man. I suppose you could call it that. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is. Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. Oh! The man in the black coat. He's not Japanese, looks to be in his early 30s. Previously, Aichi got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now another man has appeared instead. By changing what Aichi did, he also changed Kano's story. A foreign man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way toward her, his expression blank. He didn't match the description Hitomi had given him, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. All right, Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This may be our guy. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat, bent his knees ready for action. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun. Was this the culprit? Or perhaps it was him. In masse, the detectives began to close in. Let's go, Kano. On it. Sasayama and Kano leapt into action. They never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running right towards them. Keep up refers to point in the story where your progress is currently stopped. In order to advance beyond keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist's story at 10:30 Achi has the text, young man in the suit, set as red keywords. Checking these red keywords will also allow you to jump from Aichi's story back to Kano's. Now head back to Aichi's story and keep an eye out for that. Key phrase. Red man, man in a red suit. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to stop it here for today. Thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.